Peace and blessings, everyone. Excuse me. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Oh, it's 2:55 on my clock, so it's 2:55 in the afternoon. I just wanted to share something with you. So, in my other video, I talked about planets that were in retrograde in this month of July. I'm not really going to get into that, but I am going to get into some things that the first retrograde that started July 4th have triggered into effect, right? So, yeah, before I get into it, welcome to my channel. My name is Nicole, also known as Black Dove. If you are new to my channel, you haven't already done so, subscribe. If you've been here before and you are a subscriber, welcome back. Also hit the notification button so you are notified when I upload more content. Right? Okay. So, this video is very different from the majority of the videos that I post. So majority of my videos are about guidance, helping guide you through rituals, understanding different things, just teaching, right? Education. This one, I just want to talk to you about some things that have been going on with me. And I know as a high priestess, if I'm experiencing this, others are experiencing it. The collective has to be definitely experiencing it, right? So if you came across this video, it is not by coincidence. You are meant to be here, and just stick around long enough so I can talk about some things that, ooh, my eyes itch, are being addressed, which I spoke about in the previous video about planets in retrograde, but are definitely being addressed. So you know that whole retrograde that started on July 4th, which I believe is Neptune. I believe it's Neptune that went into retrograde on July 4th, and how it's clearing up illusions and truth, right? So this whole thing has to do with, I guess you can call them opportunists. They're also known as carpet beggar or bagger bouncers, something like that. You have to look up the term, but it's basically someone who exploits or uses someone to advance themselves for selfish reasons or for their own personal reasons, right? This is an opportunist that's energetically trying to use you, because I have opportunists that are energetic. As I'm a high priestess, I have people who sometimes come to me and they can't afford to pay for services, and I kindly, graciously do things for people. Sometimes I'll meet a person and they'll talk to me about different things and tell me, for some reason, they'll tell me things that are going on, and then energetically I offer guidance and help, and then some physical help, like providing them with candles, rituals, and things like that. And then sometimes I'll do the actual physical work for a person. I do it all the time. I'm not selfish in the way where my gifts and abilities are to exploit people financially, right? Because I understand sometimes you need help and you don't financially able to help to pay for things, right? But then I have those that are supposed to be my friends, and these are the opportunists that disguise themselves as my friend, and not necessarily that they're physically or technically doing harm to me, or they're disguised as family members, right? These are what they are, family and friends. But energetically, they stay in your energy because it's your energy that is creating and manifesting and materializing and open up all this space for them. I know. As a high priestess, I know what my gifts and abilities are. I know what I bring to the table. I've seen what happens. I know what happens. I've seen it every single time. I have yet to be wrong when it comes to a person um, that has come into my energy. And then I see what happens to people after they've left my energy, or I've removed them from my energy, or the universe has closed that door, right? So what I'm telling you is an opportunist, is somebody who's supposed to be your friend, or it's a family member, but somebody who's supposed to be close to you, right? That should want to see you win, should want to see you win, should be cheering you on, supporting you, especially when they benefit from you and your gifts and your abilities, right? But secretly, they want to be you. They're jealous of you. And in no time do they have intentions to stay in your energy for your benefit. They're not contributing anything to it. It's all there to benefit them all the time, every single time. It is never going to fail. It is never going to fail. It will always be that way when it comes to an opportunist. So, I mean, I have people who will call me up, they have a vision, they have a dream, and they'll call me up to ask me specifically about that. They don't call me just to ask. Because if it's a friend, if it's a loved one, someone who cares about you, they're not going to call you just to ask you about this, about that, about this. You want that done? Go pay for it for somebody, right? Go pay for it. Why are you calling me for free? You're not calling me to ask me how I'm doing. You're not calling to check on me. You're calling because energetically you need to benefit from me. Period, point blank. I mean, I have best friends that I call to see how they're doing, and then I'm like, oh, you home? I'm coming over. And I'm just there, and we're hanging out, and we're laughing, and we're talking. There's nothing to be gained from the exchange of love, sisterly love, best friends, friendship. We're passing it, but we're giving support to each other. One is not just in it to benefit themselves, right? You don't pick up the phone just because you need something, because you need something to benefit you. You don't pick up the phone for that, just for that. You pick up the phone because this is a person you care about, and you want to make sure they're okay. Not to call, oh, I had this happen, and what does it mean, and blah blah blah. Go look it up yourself. Figure it out yourself, or pay me for my time. Figure it out yourself, or pay me for my time, or at least give a donation. I have multiple people like this that are opportunists. Multiple. And I've called them out on it. And then when you call them out on it, you don't hear from them for a while. Why? Because they're like, because they're hurt. They're licking their wounds somewhere. But see, that retrograde that started on July 4th in Neptune and Aries, I think it's Aries that it's in. Neptune and Aries. It's clearing up illusions. It's deciphering the illusions from the truth. Because no lie, leading up to that, I was seeing it, I was acknowledging it and accepting it, and I was just like, yeah, this is not for me anymore. And then afterwards, after some things went down, I look, when our phone goes off and I see it's a message or a phone call from certain opportunists, I don't even answer the phone. Energetically, I'm not interested. I'm not. Not for you to call me up and you're on the phone for 2 hours and I'm like, you gonna pay me for my time? And you can hear a rat piss on cotton. That's how quiet it is. A rat piss on cotton. Or you're calling me up and I'm explaining something to you, and then your next phrase is, I need your help. Okay, are you going to pay me for my help? Because how much time should I give for you? How much of it should be free? How much of it should be free? How much of my gifts, my abilities, my energy, the space I hold with the Creator, with the source of life, the angels, the spirits, and the ancestors should be free to you? My gifts aren't free to me. Didn't cost me anything, but I show my appreciation and my gratitude to my whole spiritual team. I give offerings to them. I do rituals for them. I pay them in the way that helps them. So why the hell should any practitioner, whether you refer to yourself as a high priestess, a tarot card reader, whether you do any form of divination, whatever you refer to yourself, why should we not get paid for our time? Why should you be up in our space energetically and think that when you give a $2 donation to something, that means that we got a $2 gift, that means that we owe you something energetically? Now, if I come out and I say, oh, I'm doing, if you need this, that, and the third done, I'm offering this much work to one person. If you want to sign up for it, drop me your name and your email address. I'll put it into a bowl and pick the winning person out, and that person will be notified via email that they're the winner. That's one thing. But to call me up anytime you want something, and I'm saying to you, are you paying me for my time? Are you going to pay me for it? And you have no response, that means you're an opportunist. And you're only looking to be in my energy so that it benefits you. And yes, I am here to teach, intercede, hold place for, guide. But that doesn't mean, the universe doesn't require me to go broke or be poor or not make profit off of my gifts and abilities. Doesn't mean I rob people and charge an over excessive amount of something, but it means that should I get something for materials that I need to use, or energy, my gifts, no, absolutely I should. It's an exhausting thing. I can't turn it off. You know what I'm saying? I don't get to turn it off. I know my man tries. He's a Hugin. He tries to turn it off all the time. And I tell you, when he ignores the signs that he's being given, the shit that he saw usually ends up happening. I'm going to share an instant with y'all. Now, my man's a CDL truck driver, right? So he's gone. He drives, he's on the road a lot. He comes home late at night. He leaves in the morning. Not early in the morning, but in the morning. I'm usually up before he leaves. But this past weekend something happened, right? I had several different visions, and one of my nephew's birthdays, the 4th of July, so I went to my sister's to celebrate my nephew's birthday. We came back the next day. I kind of lounged around the house because I had been out in the sun and the heat, and I just wanted to relax, right? The following day, that same day that I was just out and about relaxing, my son had went to play basketball with friends. Then when he came back, I went to take baked macaroni and cheese to another nephew, right? To one of my other nephews. We went to the store, we grabbed some things. Matter of fact, I think we went and grabbed food. My son had ordered some sandwiches that he had he could get for free because he had so many points or something. So they were like from Wawa, Quick Check, and he had a whole bunch of points. He could order things, sandwiches for stuff for free. So he went and got that. We came back, and the window on my car, my driver's side window, had fell, and it wouldn't come back up. So my son knows how to fix cars. He knows how to work some cars. He went and got the stuff, took the door panel off, and my next door neighbor came and saw him doing it, came and helped to get my window back up so that it would come back up. And they did. Now, that night I went to bed. After that whole incident happened, I was supposed to go back up to my sister's to drop some stuff, but I was so exhausted after all of that, and I was starting to not feel good. I was just like, I'm gonna just relax. So I laid on the couch, one of my couches, and then as time dwindled down, saw that it was getting later in the day, I went and took a shower, got in my bed. I think I went to bed before my oldest son did, because my man has a son, and he's much younger than my son. My son's 18, he's going on 19, and his son is more like 9 or 10 years old. So I went to bed. My man came in, but I had several visions. One where my ancestors were telling me, trying to tell me who did whatever to try to cause harm to me, and it was the reason why my window on my car fell, right? Because I wasn't having problems with my window. There was no reason for my window to just drop the way it dropped. It just dropped to where my neighbor said, "What happened?" I said, "I don't know, my window just fell. Like, it just fell out of nowhere, like that." Now, in that process, when I laid down to take the nap, I was talking, and the ancestors was telling me, and then I kind of came up out of it. When I came up out of it, I went on about my business, blah blah blah, right? It was not late. It wasn't late at all. My son was still up, and because it was Saturday night. Yeah, it was Saturday night, so it hadn't even gone into Sunday, so it was not late, but it was evening time, and I got up, and my man wasn't home, and my son was just laying on the couch. So I got up, I got some water, and then I went back to my bed. I went to sleep. I woke up to my man being in bed next to me because he was on my pillow. We got a king size bed, and he just so happens to roll over onto my pillow, and he's got his head right on top of my head. That's how I woke up. So he looked at me. I kind of looked at him. I was aching, a little sore from the whole weekend festivities and things like that. And I got up, got a glass of water, went to the bathroom, came back to the bed, and I laid down. By that time, it was probably like one something in the morning. Laid back down, and I'm talking to ancestors, some spirits. Some of them were ancestors, some of them were family members that were alive, right? And then we're all talking and we're laughing. So one of my family members says something about such and such, and I was like, "Oh, don't go work there. You're not," I said to the one family member, "Don't work there. That's not a good place for you to work, because you're like me. You don't like bullshit and drama, right? You're very much so quiet, like to keep to yourself. And if you got to put hands on somebody, you won't be fighting the willpower to put hands on somebody, find the strength to not put hands on somebody like that." In this vision, someone associated with one of the individuals in my life that's an opportunist. Who now I personally, I guess you can classify as an opportunist themselves, was in the vision. And then we're talking right before this entity comes after me. We're talking, and he's talking and he's saying some things, and then this entity shows up, right? And another person shows up, and I'm like, what are you even doing here? Like, again, what are you doing here? I don't fuck with you like that in the vision. And the other person, the opportunist, we're just going to call this individual an opportunist too, because right now if I'm looking at this person, while in the conscious mind, I can't even trust this person. This is how I'm seeing it. It's talking, and this spirit comes out of nowhere, and it's trying to disguise itself as an individual, a person, a human being. But because I have the gift of sight to see past things that are being past cloaks, past spells, past disguises, I can see that it's not human. And it comes up to me and it grabs my hand, this hand right here, right? This hand right here. It grabs it and it starts twisting, trying to, like it was breaking my hand. So I start fighting this entity. And it then takes its other hand, it goes to my heart chakra center. And I start feeling this pain in my chest. So I'm like, oh no. The ancestors who were there look at me, and they saw the look on my face, and they knew instantly. They stepped back. Because they knew I had it. I then put my leg up. I kicked it. I put my leg down, my foot down on the one arm that it was trying to destroy my chakra, heart center chakra with. And then I took the other hand and I split it. And it looked at me. And I said, I don't know who sent you. I don't know who sent you, but whoever sent you, they lied to you. They told you I was a witch. Now, mind you, I didn't know. I wasn't having no conversation. Nobody told me that the thing thought I was a witch. All I could sense is I can hear the thing's thoughts. I can hear somebody's thoughts. And they was like, she's a witch. And I was like, they lied. I'm not a witch. They done fucked up. They didn't tell you who I was. I'm certainly not no witch. They don't know who I am with the ethers, with the universe, with the source of life, with the ancestors, with the angels. They fucked around and told you the wrong thing, right? So now I'm kind of like in between worlds. I'm half conscious and half in between world, because I'm in this world, this realm, but I'm also in my room. I can see half the realm and half my room, right? So this thing is still standing there, and I'm like, move around, because I'm about to fucking hurt you. I'm all about love and light. I'm all about healing and uplifting, but I'm about to fucking hurt you and the person who sent you and the person who paid them to send you. And not only am I about to hurt all of them, but I'm about to hurt the opportunists that played like they were there for my good, but they were there for their advancement. Because it was the opportunist that ushered in the entity. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Is it hot enough for you?
You know what? At least it's not so humid.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be worse. They were making it sound like it was going to be like really sticky and the air was going to be thick, but the breeze is actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's actually on the cooler side.
My feet swell when we get really hot
Yeah.
air, and I'm not swollen.
Well, at least you're going inside. Get some water when you go inside. See you later.
Oh, I am going to have somebody here.
I remember you telling me.
2 weeks.
Okay, in 2 weeks. Okay.
So, his name's Tyler.
I haven't
so
forgotten.
watch
Yeah,
out.
I haven't forgotten. I remember you telling me before. I didn't
I
forget.
was going to ask Zion for if he would be interested in staying down, but because I've had that weird issue down here.
I seen him the other day.
Yeah. Yeah,
I seen him the other day.
So I don't want anybody young.
No, but you trust me, girl. I got plenty of machetes. It won't be no problem around here. You won't have no problem.
So that's who you need by you.
Yeah, you won't have no problem. I ain't got no problem chopping somebody's arm off.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't forget. I had literally just said it to myself. I was like, I gotta find out again when she's supposed to be going away. I didn't forget, Laura. I
I
didn't.
don't know what she's doing with this guy, but
I don't know. But I did. I seen him walking the other day because Paul
he's
had.
walking back and forth.
Yes,
every day.
because your son had said to me, you know, he parks elsewhere, and I said, what? And then I saw him the next day or so
Yeah,
walking.
I worry about my sons confronting him. I tell them you
Ain't gonna be no problems. I told you I got plenty of swords and machetes in this house.
Well, it's just I want to be on the right side of it.
Right? Yeah,
I want to
yeah,
stay out of it till we've gone to court.
yeah. But some people
Anyway,
he
stay
doesn't
cool.
look wrapped too tight. See you later.
Take care.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Sorry y'all. My neighbor who lives underneath me. I love her. Her kids and her dog. Her dog is like my dog. I have a cat, but her dog is my dog. I buy different treats and gifts for her dog. But I've known them for so long. They've known me for so long. But this person who's the opportunist, who's supposed to be like family, who will refer to me as family. Oh, if you need anything, I got you, is the one who ushered them in this vision, who energy allowed them to somebody to use the energy that they were tapped into through me to tap into, to ultimately make their way, usher themselves into my vision. Because even one of my ancestors was like, who was that? And I was like, I don't know. Excuse me. But when my ancestors saw the look on my face, and they knew what that look meant, I ain't had to say nothing. They saw the look on my face. I fucked that spirit up. I fucked that entity up. So, to the opportunist, y'all gotta be careful. Y'all really do have to be careful. I'm outside of y'all. It's like 90 something degrees outside. It's supposed to be hotter than that. Feel like it's hotter than that. I have a little shade over me, but there's like this stickiness like in the air. It's not really, really humid, but it's a bit stickiness in the air. And I didn't come out here with no, I had just got in the house, got some water, sat down for a minute, put my bags down, and then wanted to really talk on it because it's been on my mind for a minute about it, but also that this freaking fly, you are working my nerves, and I wish you go find somebody else to bug, boo, instead of bugging me. It made me think of that illusion in truth that was one of the focuses of this retrograde, this Neptune in Aries retrograde. That was one of the focuses was energy and focuses was illusions and truth. So as I thought about it, it happened within a couple of days, like the day after the retrograde, because the retrograde occurred on the 4th, which was Friday. The vision occurred on Saturday, right? So I was like, wow, so that's what y'all really about? Y'all really are opportunists. So not is there, these two opportunists are literally interchangeable, some way connected, right? And while they may not be trying to cause harm to you, they participate in some form of harm, especially when they're opportunists and they've been cut off, and they know that you were removing them from your energy, you were removing yourself energetically, and they know that things that were occurring for them were occurring because of you, and now they no longer can can benefit from it. So what do they do before you cut them completely off, or the universe and your spiritual team completely backs them out of it? Whatever little energy they have, connection they have left with you, they usher in other people that were intentionally trying to hurt you, because none of them can benefit. These are all people who were benefiting from being in your energy. So they were all opportunists at some point. So pay attention to the illusions that you thought were truths. Pay attention to the illusions and truth being cleared up, and the veil being lifted. And that's funny that the veil is being lifted, because if you go back and watch my planets in retrograde for the month of July, the actual formula that I used is specifically that I spoke on, that I shared with you, that I explained what I use it for, is specifically for clearing up, lifting veils. It's specifically for it. It serves a purpose to lifting veils, and it's not a coincidence that it was female matriarch and ancestors, the female ancestors, the mothers and mothers, the mothers of mothers of my ancestral line that I was talking to when all these things were when these veil was being lifted. No lie. I kicked the stool. I kicked the stand that my camera's on. No lie, y'all. It's so funny. Go back and watch that video. If you haven't already watched that video, it's the planets in retrograde in the month of July. I posted it last week sometime. I shared a formula. I shared a few rituals you can use this formula, the blend in. What each retrograde you can work on. And this past retrograde, and you can't make this shit up, look it up, the retrograde that occurred on July 4th, look up what energetically and the focus of it is. And one of the focuses is intuition, is illusions in truths, I think. I could be wrong. But it's just crazy. It's just crazy that the formula that I shared is specifically for tapping into the matriarch lineage and them helping lift veils, them revealing things to you. And then I have the vision, and I have the vision of opportunists who are no longer about to benefit from my energy, because the universe is clearing that up. It's been in a process for a while, for past about a week, clearing it up, maybe even 2 weeks clearing it up, and I would say at least two to 3 weeks that it's been the clearing up that had been occurring and going on, and the removing of oneself from my energy, and then in this vision, what I see was the opportunists, one of the opportunists, working with others who were opportunists, but now just are mad because they're no longer in my energy, right? And y'all actually tried to come for me? Like, that's crazy. Hey, Paul. How are you?
I'm just in. I had the day off.
Oh, did you enjoy your day off?
Yeah. Beautiful out.
Yeah, it's a nice day. You too. I think that as practitioners, spiritual guides, advisors, healers, tarot card readers, divination workers, I think it's important to watch energetically who you let into your your energetic body and your space. I, for sure, not everybody's gonna have good intentions, but under no circumstances should you ever feel like you're obligated to just be doing things because they're supposed to be your family. They're supposed to be blood. Because that whole about blood is thicker than water, blood is not always thicker than water. It'd be your own family member that would throw you under a bus. It'd be the people that's closest to you that would throw you under a bus if it benefits them. Not to say that every opportunist is going to turn into what it turned into for me. Somebody actually helping someone to send an entity my way that they thought was going to hurt me, that I transmuted that shit and shifted that shit and sent it back. Right? That same day I had that vision, I was telling y'all, my man had a vision. This is how bad people are. This is how toxic opportunists can become. If they can't benefit if it doesn't benefit them, their own personal gain. My man said to me, now I didn't speak when I got up that morning after I came out of that whole trance, that whole vision. I didn't speak on it with him. I didn't speak to him and tell him any of it, right? And then that morning, my son goes out to do his laundry because it was Sunday morning, because this happened Saturday night. My son goes out to do his laundry. I had some things I had to do in the afternoon, so the morning I kind of like cleaned up the home, and then I sat down and lounged around until my son came back from doing laundry, then prepared to get myself ready to go out the door, right? Now, I'm sweating here, and I should probably get up and go get some water, but I'm almost done with this video, so I'll do it then. Like I said, my man drives. He's always on the road. He comes in late hours. So that night he came in, I actually had went to bed, but then I was having problems sleeping. So I had gotten up and I was just back and forth. I even ended up taking a second shower, because I had took a shower before I went to bed. I ended up taking a second shower, seeing if I could relax myself. And he came into the house, then he went back out, and I kind of sensed something was wrong, but I didn't say anything to him right away. So I kind of like got back into bed. I tossed and turned a little bit. Then I finally turned on some meditation music, and he had left the door open to the house. And I got up and I closed it because I knew he was in his car. That means he had his keys. So I closed it. And I went to sleep and I finally fell asleep. At some point of the night, I woke up and got a bottle of water. Went and got a bottle of water. I saw he had fell asleep on the couch. I went to the bathroom. Then went back to the bed. And then at some point, he must have came to bed, right? I got up. I saw him in the bed. I went to the bathroom to put some water on my face because I'm at that perimenopause age where I wake up with hot flashes, feeling like I took a dive into a pool, hot and sticky. So I kind of like splashed some water on my face, and then saw his keys in the bed. And by that time, it was morning, like the sun would be coming up. The sun would be coming over the horizon. So I tapped him and I said, your keys, I found them in the bathroom. And that's when he looked at me and said, I was in an accident last night. on my way home. And I said, what? And he said, I was in an accident. He was like, that's why I was out in the car talking to the insurance company. I was like, oh, okay, like that. And then I said, somebody hit you? He said, yeah, a guy cut me off, was switching lanes, cut me off, and he sideswiped me on my driver's side. That's what he said. Then he proceeds to say, it was my fault because I saw it in the vision and I didn't do anything about it. And I said to him, that's always your problem because you always see things in a vision and you never do anything about it. But every time I have a vision, like I've had vision about family members of his, and I immediately tell him, and he'll say to me, oh yeah, such and such is blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow, why don't you call and see how they are? Things like that, because I don't know a lot of things different times that's going on. We don't really just we don't discuss certain, he don't discuss certain things or whatever. So when I get in a vision, when I have a vision about things, I tell him, and then he's like, he'll make a phone call and he'll find out that's exactly what's going on. So I said to him, so we got up, I got up, I had a class to get ready for, so I got myself ready, and we were both going out the door at the same time. My son had already left for work, and we were both going out the door at the same time. And I said to him, you need to be safe, and you need to stop living like you're just an average human being, mundane, with no gifts and abilities, and start paying attention to your visions and the spirits and your guides like that. And he didn't say anything because he's much rather just be able to hang out when he wants to hang out with, because there are times where we're required to seclude ourselves from people. There are rituals we have to do where we cut off eating certain things, and we cut off people having access to us. Like there are times when we can't sleep in the bed together, right? Because they're just energetically, there are things that we have to energetically hold a certain level of energy, and certain things release energy, and certain things tap into energy, things like that, right? So it was crazy because I had my visions, and I didn't speak to him about it in regards to, but I had that morning, matter of fact, that morning, Sunday morning, after the vision and after the attack, the dream work that somebody tried to do and tap into my me when I was with the ancestors in another realm, I got up and I cleansed my house, and I cleansed my energy, and I cleansed my home and everything, and I could tell whatever was the attack was coming on that they were trying to was stopped, because I even blessed my car and the vehicle. So I went out and blessed the vehicle because my son uses that vehicle. So under no circumstances was I going to let my son be open to somebody's attack, spiritual attack. So I blessed the vehicle, and I thought he saw me blessing the vehicle, and he had even said to one of his spirits, because we do this is this common thing where between him and I, we're always talking to spirits. So we'll talk out loud to spirits, and we're not talking to each other, we're just talking to the spirits. So I remember hearing him say, while I was doing a cleansing on the house, I really heard him say to a spirit, yeah, I have to do that too. And I thought he meant that he was going to go out and clear his car, because I had cleansed the car and blessed the car. And he told me, yeah, I said that's what I meant when I said it, but then I didn't do it. So he's got some damage to his car. He's got to have it fixed. Pretty sure his insurance is going to go through the roof. Thank goodness we're not on the same insurance, because then my insurance would be through the roof. But pay attention to the signs. Try that formula and tap into your matriarch lineage and ask them to lift the veil because that's what shifting from illusions to truth is lifting a veil. Anyway, I'm about to go inside. I'm starting to feel like I need to take a whole nother shower before I go do what I need to do in the afternoon. Until next time, be good to yourself and each other. Love you guys. Bye.